How was the Browns popping? It's D about to react to this impressive vid. It's titled Oprah is Annoyed with Taraji P. Henson drama. Gabrielle Union shades Vivica Fox. Why? And Color Purple drama. Why? This is ghetto, but sure. Let's see how they done piss Oprah off. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. There has been a lot of drama surrounding the Color Purple release.
She looks just like Fantasia.
I feel like this drama
that gotta be her sister.
The rollout for this movie. People have been creating drama between the cast of Color Purple. Also, Taraji spoke about the pay inequality that's been happening, and Vivica did react to this. Vivica A. Fox reacted to what Taraji said, and she seemed to be unbothered. She didn't seem to be in support of Taraji like that. And Gabrielle Union threw shade at Vivica. I mean, there's a whole lot going on, and I'm going to get into that later on in this video. But I first want to talk about The Color Purple. The movie is currently struggling at the box office, unfortunately. It did well in its opening weekend, but so far it's only grossed $54.6 million. And you have to think about it, the budget for this movie was around $140 million, which
this is something I recently learned about. So when I reacted to the whole Halle Bailey and DDG pregnancy nonsense, Lovely T in that video, she said that The Little Mermaid flopped. So I looked it up because I'm like, oh, I thought people were saying the movie did well. But apparently it just barely broke even. So you have to consider the budget and how much it costs to make the movie versus the sales. And apparently that movie just barely broke even. And I feel like I even saw that it very recently broke even. So they didn't make any money from that movie. And typically when a movie doesn't make money, it is considered a flop. So, you know, Disney they won't have an incentive to, you know, have a sequel or do something similar to that because they're like, this didn't even make us money. This was pointless. You feel me? Like all this was for nothing. It broke even. So technically it did flop when it comes to like industry shit. But we're not thinking it flopped because if you look at the numbers, it's like, oh, it made hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, it's a success. That's not what that means. It technically did flop in that sense. So this is what she's talking about concerning the Color Purple as well.
Included marketing. So that's a lot of money that was invested, and the money still has not been recouped yet. That is actually a huge issue. And it is possible that when award season comes around, the movie might get a boost in sales, who knows, but so far it's not performing the way that it should. And on top of that, you have some of the castmates airing out their grievances about the filming, and there were just a lot of different stories that surfaced that kind of created a negative cloud over the movie. I mean, you heard stories that there was tension between the executive producer Oprah and Taraji P. Henson. People on TikTok were breaking down the body language between them and saying that Oprah didn't like Taraji because she wouldn't hug her or touch her. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff. And also you heard that there was some drama between Oprah and Whoopi Goldberg. A source told Page Six that Oprah skipped out on doing a promo run at The View, and some speculated that she did that to avoid reuniting with Whoopi. It was said that Oprah and Whoopi were beefing with each other, and this is not the first time we heard this. They were both a part of the original cast of The Color Purple back in the 80s, but oddly enough, they never really interacted with each other over the years. And they did finally do a sit down and they addressed it on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
What was the problem?
And they both admitted that they felt like they didn't like one another, which is why they avoided each other, but they cleared up their issues there. However, fast forward to the present, it seemed like there was still some tension between the two because Whoopi was noticeably left out of the promo run for this new Color Purple. And
I feel like a lot of these celebrities, they be beefing over the most petty shit. Like, it don't even be that serious. And it's like, y'all are very blessed and y'all be worried about the dumbest shit. Like, who cares? And it's like, oh, we ain't talked for 30 years because I thought you didn't like me. Oh, girl, I thought you didn't like me. You looked at me funny when we got on set. It be the dumbest shit. It's so stupid.
It was rumored that Oprah slighted her by not coming to The View, and it was said that Oprah allegedly kept Fantasia from connecting with Whoopi. I mean, there were just a lot of different rumors, and Whoopi debunked the rumors that she and Oprah had a fight.
I didn't get into a fight with Oprah backstage here at The View.
Whoopi didn't have a fight, but it is obvious to the viewers and the fans of Color Purple that Whoopi was kind of left out, but I thought it was a class act that the cast came on there and they gave her a standing ovation. I thought that was really nice, but that whole rumor about Oprah and Whoopi feuding did create some negative press for the film. Also, there was some other drama. In fact, one of the actresses, Danielle Brooks, exposed the production team for being cheap, and that was super embarrassing.
I remember when we first came in and we were doing rehearsal, and they put us all in the same space. Like, we didn't have our own dressing rooms at the time, and they did not give us it. Sorry, Miss O, we didn't have no food.
She had no idea.
She didn't know what was going on.
She had no idea. I heard about it.
Oh, yeah. And you corrected it for us. You corrected it.
Didn't I call you? Yes, and I was like, Miss O, we gotta fix this. And she said, say less. And was it not
And
fixed?
that's what I appreciated, though. You were our voice.
Another one of the castmates named Alicia Pearl said that she wasn't even invited to the Golden Globes with the other cast.
Oh, right. I wasn't invited. But I'm wearing my purple to cheer on my Color Purple fam. Go Vintage and Danielle! Woo!
Oh my God, this
And
is
don't
ghetto.
worry, I'll be a nominee in a few years.
This is just a mess. And I kind of believe that some of the stories of the behind the scenes drama kind of ruined the rollout and the promo run for Color Purple.
I don't know.
And I think matters were made worse.
Isn't Holly in this movie?
Henson
What's she
was speaking about pay inequity and how the cast was underserved. I do feel like Taraji was going through a lot of things personally and maybe even financially, and it just spilled out in her interviews. And it got really awkward when she revealed that she wasn't paid what she was owed for this movie. She felt like she was underpaid considering her resume. I mean, Taraji is an Oscar nominee. She's a Golden Globe and SAG Award winner. She's been a part of Oscar Award-winning movies like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Hidden Figures, Hustle and Flow. She's been the leading lady in movies like Proud Mary, Baby Boy, Not Easily Broken, etc. And she also started her own hit show on Fox called Empire. So she absolutely has the resume, and she's been working nonstop for over 20 years.
She's not my
so
cup of tea, but yeah, she sounds like she
unfortunately
qualified.
She's not getting that, and
to get paid.
It kind of led her to spill out her grievances and frustration during the rollout of The Color Purple.
As a black woman, you know, we do it with so much grace and get paid half the price of what we're worth.
Yeah.
And that becomes difficult. I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, don't apologize.
And then they tell me we don't translate overseas.
I'm not getting emotional. Something's actually in my eye.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing that my entire career, 20 plus years in the game, and I hear the same thing, and I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face. When you see a black woman up here, baby, we jumped hurdles to get here. We follow obstacles. Yes. Getting paid less than. And we do it with grace. We do it with grace because if we speak up too much, we're considered angry. I'm trying to give you lessons here.
Taraji also had complaints about the production team giving them rental cars to drive to work. She said in her interview with the New York Times, they gave us rental cars. And I was like, I can't drive myself to set in Atlanta. This is an insurance liability. It's dangerous. Now they robbing people. What do I look like taking myself to work by myself in a rental car? So I was like, can I get a driver or security to take me? I'm not asking for the moon. They're like, well, if we could do it for you, we got to do it for everybody. And she continued, well, do it for everybody. It's stuff like that, stuff I shouldn't have to fight for. I was on the set of Empire fighting for trailers that wasn't infested with bugs. Now, some people believe that Taraji speaking out about this may have caused some tension between her and Oprah. Even though Oprah and Taraji debunked the rumors that they were feuding, I still feel like Oprah felt away and had an issue with the matter as a whole. And the reason why I feel that way is because of how she responded to it in her recent interviews. Oprah has been painted out to be the villain, but truthfully, Oprah is not at fault for all of the things that were happening behind the scenes. I believe she is the executive producer, so her job was really to promote the film and to invest in the film. She wasn't responsible for paying the cash, nor was she responsible for overseeing the working conditions. That was really the studio's responsibility, not Oprah's. So Oprah was being blamed for no reason at all, and anytime Taraji had a complaint, Oprah would have to step out of her role and intervene. And I could tell that Oprah was a bit annoyed. She was annoyed that the problems always fell on her, and she's annoyed that she's being blamed for it now.
But before you go, 3 people have stopped me today, Oprah, and said, what is the deal with Oprah and Taraji? What do you want to share with the class?
The thing that is so upsetting to me is that somebody went on and something went viral where they're analyzing us on top of the Empire State. We were cold.
You were cold.
We were cold. It was cold.
Yeah, there's a whole
thing
TikTok
we had done that day.
Yes.
When I got the first phone call, the cars were being asked to rent cars because they were in the middle of rehearsal.
Well, I asked for my own car because I like to drive myself. I'm a Southern woman.
So I heard
that
that Taraji was upset because she'd been asked to do a rental car. I personally called Toby Emmerich.
Because why did you need the 7 black? I was okay with doing it. I can drive myself. Nobody asks that of you, Tasia. Calm down.
The time
she didn't want to do it.
The head of Warner Brothers and he said, well, that means we have to do cars for everybody. Then I said, then we do cars for everybody. And if it's necessary, I will pay for the cars myself because, well, we don't want you to do that. So, that was one thing, trailers were another thing, food was another thing.
And everything got handled.
I just
so I don't even know
what
I
don't even know.
But you know what? It's so disturbing to me. Why is my name even in this conversation?
It's obvious that Oprah is annoyed here, and I can guarantee you.
That is a bit confusing, though. If everything got handled, why was she speaking on it? If they took care of it, I do think that is a bit odd. I was under the impression just by reading that she ended up having to, either pay for her own driver or drive the rental car in Atlanta where they be robbing niggas. But they're like, no, it got handled. So we ended up getting drivers. That's what it's implied. So it's like, why did she speak on that then? That is a bit odd.
Will probably never work with Taraji.
Because you can say, she wants to speak out and stand up for herself. But in reality, standing up for yourself, it doesn't really get you that far when it comes to this industry. I don't know if y'all have picked up on this as of late. But even if you think about Nicki Minaj, for example, how long has she been, calling out these executives and the industry? It doesn't help at all. If anything, I feel like it makes it worse and it makes it harder for you to get hired because you are bringing negative attention to what they're doing and you're making them look bad. I feel like it might be a bit more beneficial to negotiate aggressively behind the scenes. Like, hey, I'm not doing this unless we do that. Like, can we, if you're going to be difficult in private, you might get a bit further, but trying to embarrass them. Well, I'm sure that wasn't her intention, but that's how they look at it. Like, oh, you're embarrassing us. And now look at Oprah. She's like, oh, now I'm getting blamed for this. You're just bringing negative attention to the situation. So I don't feel like it's helping her at all. And especially in this particular situation where they're saying that it got handled. So why did you even address it if it got handled? I'm confused.
P. Henson again after this. People could say what they want. They could say, oh, they're cool. They respect each other. They love each other. Nah. I think they were keeping it professional, but Oprah was clearly over it. She was over it. And I know she was hot when she heard how Taraji was talking in some of these interviews because it really did create a negative light over the whole film. And I don't think Taraji intentionally sought out to sabotage the rollout at all.
She might have shot herself in the foot. I think she was just tired
of bottling up her emotions and she just had to let it all out. I think she's honestly going through something personally and financially, which is why she's really talking like this. I could bet that there's something off with her team and they're not advocating for her properly. Yeah, and she's probably overspending. taking care of people,
Gotta
paying
get a
so
new
many
team.
people to keep up this Hollywood lifestyle, and it's exhausting. So it wouldn't be surprising if she was going through some personal financial woes. But her speaking about pay inequity and the mistreatment that she receives as a Black actress in the industry is important, and it's no different from what we've heard other Black actresses say before. Monique, for example, was one of the first ones to speak boldly about this.
And look what happened
when
to her.
she stood up for herself and tried to advocate for herself, she was ostracized, blackballed, and labeled difficult to work with.
That part's exactly what the fuck I just said. So again, a lot of the viewers out there and the, you know, fans will be like, yeah, that's right, speak up for yourself, you're doing the right thing. No, they're not. And you don't understand that because you're not in that industry. Like, this isn't fucking a regular job. There's no HR department. Oh, just complain and it'll get resolved if you're getting treated unfairly. That's not how the fuck it works. The treatment is very unfair. Okay, they gonna blackball you. They're not gonna want to cast you for future films when you're embarrassing them and putting shit out there and exposing it. You are better off trying to negotiate effectively behind the scenes. If your team is not effectively negotiating for you, you need a new team. I would keep hiring new managers and new people. Hey, they not getting me what I want. Let me find some other people who will advocate for me and stand up for me behind the scenes. But trying to do it publicly, what the fuck we gonna do? What am I gonna do with this information? I cannot help you, Taraji. So why do I need to see this on the Shade Room? You feel me? So, but I get it. Like she said, maybe she was emotionally overwhelmed and it just came out. I totally understand people being frustrated. We're only human. I get that. But just as far as what makes the most sense and what's beneficial, it just doesn't make sense to keep trying to expose the shit. You're exposing it, and now what? Now you blackballed. Okay, now you really broke, and you really ain't getting the money that you want. So it's like, what does this solve?
And she was completely demonized and criticized and didn't get the same amount of support that the other actresses have gotten when they spoke up.
As a Black woman in Hollywood, see, initially you're told, build up your resume, and that's what'll get the money. Then you build up your resume. And then they'll say, well, you know what? We see the resume, but we'll get them the next time. Right. And you never meet your next time. So when it comes to Netflix, and with Amy Schumer and Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, and let me say this, what they got, they were supposed to. Mm-hmm. I don't have an issue with my sister Amy, nor my brother Dave and Chris. Mm-hmm. But when the vice president of Netflix says to my husband and our attorney, by the way, Monique is a legend too. Uh-huh. Well, if I'm a legend, why wouldn't I get what the legends are getting? And when people said, Monique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme?
I don't think she deserved Dave Chappelle money. I'm sorry.
But isn't inequality extreme? If they're not paying you, baby, that's called slavery. That I deserve to get what the legends got because Netflix considered me a legend? Mm-hmm. Or do you think that I should get the $500,000 because for some reason, a Black woman that's a legend doesn't deserve what a white woman who's a journeyman gets?
We won't talk about gender inequality of pay because a lot of the women who've stepped forward, and I stand in solidarity with them, okay? What they're getting paid, which is half of what a man is getting paid, well, we get probably a tenth of what a Caucasian woman gets. Damn. And I'm number one on the call sheet. And then I have to go in and I have to hustle for my worth. But I have to get on that phone and people say, you're a Black Meryl Streep. You are, and we love you.
And obviously not saying this is right. This is fucked up. I think it definitely is racism. I believe everything that they're fucking saying. Let's be clear. I'm not taking away anything from what they're saying. I'm not diminishing their claims whatsoever. I totally believe them. But I'm just speaking on what makes the most sense. And look what Viola said. She said, I gotta hustle to get what I want. So yes, she's hustling behind the scenes to get what she wants. She's not bashing particular movies or I wouldn't say Taraji bashed the movie, but she's not being like, oh, well, when I went on this movie, they didn't do this, and they didn't give me this, they didn't give me a driver, and this happened. Like, she's not doing that. She's handling business behind the scenes. I think that's more effective.
Love you. There is no one like you.
I've been talking too much.
Okay, then if there's no one like me, you think I'm that? You pay me what I'm worth.
Period. But as Black actresses, there's almost shame involved because we get paid so much less. You know, when those Forbes lists come out about highest paid actors, you're like, oh, I'm a failure. You know, I'm a failure. That's what they're making, and I'm nowhere close.
as you can see, this is a real issue that needs to be addressed and spoken about. So I don't blame Taraji for speaking out. Maybe the timing was a bit off. I think she probably could have waited until the promo run for The Color Purple was over before speaking out like this. But either way, she had to stand her ground and tell.
And I also, sorry, last one, pause. I also think it's much smarter to speak in general. Like Viola is speaking in general about everything that has occurred or everything that's going on with black women getting paid and black actresses getting paid. But Taraji is very specific about what's happening in the inequality that's occurring on this set for this movie. Like, she's very specific. Even Gabrielle Union, she's very general. Yeah, we're not getting paid that much. They're speaking up in general terms versus trying to.
Now, what's interesting is Vivica A. Fox reacted to Taraji speaking about being underpaid in the industry. And when she was asked about her thoughts on it, this is what she said.
I'm very happy, very blessed. To each his own. I didn't have that experience, so, but to get your piece out is important. I totally understand that. And I love my girls for looking out for each other. But I'm good.
Now, I thought this reaction was a little odd.
Yeah, you didn't have to say anything.
Remember, I thought Vivica was cool with Taraji. They both were on Empire together.
Oh, I'm getting paid well. That's her problem. Was getting roasted by 50.
Taraji stepped in and defended her. So I thought they were cool. But judging by Vivica's reaction and tone, it seems as if they're not as cool as I thought. I don't know, but I definitely expected her answer to be a bit different. She's like, y'all complaining and y'all struggling. I'm living my best life. I'm getting these Lifetime movie checks. I'm getting these independent movie checks. I'm doing my thing.
Girl.
I don't have no complaints. It's not like she said anything wrong, but it just didn't seem like she really cared all that much about what Taraji was saying. That's just what I got from it. Now, Gabrielle Union saw this, and she liked a shady...
That's my part. It's like, oh, y'all black bitches is dealing with that. I'm good. They paying me well, so fuck y'all. That's what it's giving. Like, okay, you should be standing with them just based on the fact that you're a black woman as well. And if that's an industry problem as a whole, they could easily switch up on your dumb ass as well. So that's real whack of her.
About Vivica. Actually, it was 2 tweets. One tweet said, I'm sure Gabrielle Union has made more than Taraji, but she publicly supported her and agreed. Compared to their white counterparts, both are underpaid. Vivica kissing A won't get you casted, hun. She could have not answered the question. She also liked another tweet that said this. She hasn't experienced Taraji's successes either. Next,
wait, let's go back because it was speaking up. I'm sure everybody has made more than Taraji, but she was what company was underpaid.
Vivica kissing A won't get you casted, hun. She could have not answered the question. She also liked another tweet that said this. She hasn't experienced Taraji's successes either.
Oh, Gabby, you should.
Gabby also threw another sub and said, help us or get out the way.
Yes.
Keep working over here.
Yes, I agree with that, Gabby.
That was a bit shady. And it's true that Vivica hasn't been in the Oscar conversation like Taraji. She hasn't won a
right, what the
like
fuck,
Taraji.
girl?
So yeah, I can agree that Vivica is not on Taraji's level.
Yeah, at all. I'm confused.
But we're not going to throw salt on Vivica's name. I mean, she has been in the industry for 30 plus years. She's been acting consistently. She has been in big blockbuster movies.
I don't think she's making more than Taraji though. That's cap if she's trying to imply that.
She's done independent movie projects, TV movies, a lot of the cult classic black movies like Set It Off, Soul Food, Two Can Play That Game, Booty Call. I mean, the list goes on. And she's still consistently working at almost 60 years old. So you can't really throw shade at her career. A lot of girls would love to have the career that she has. And even though I think it would have been nice if she showed some solidarity with Taraji, I understand that not everybody wants to take on that fight. I mean, when Monique spoke out...
So shut up then. Like Gabby said, get out the way.
People who spoke up, but I don't remember as many people rallying behind her the way they rallied behind Taraji. But that's besides the point. I still do support Taraji and what she's saying. And I think that she has every right to speak her piece. But also, I'm not really mad at Vivica for not wanting to get involved either. The conversation is not about her, so she pretty much tried to stay out of it. But anyway, tell me what y'all think about it.
No, that was a shady way to stay out of it. I would have been like, no comment. Or, yeah, I want the best for Taraji. I stand with her. Or whatever. Even if you don't want to say that, just don't say shit. Keep your mouth closed. I don't have anything to say. Then don't say it. That was very shady of her. So I'm with Gabby 1000%. Get the fuck out the way if you ain't gonna fight with us or if you ain't gonna stand with us. Like, you did the most. But, yeah, I do feel like Taraji has a right to speak her mind. Blah, blah, fucking blah. But like I said, is it beneficial to her? Probably not. And I already said, well, I already beat the dead horse. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you're going to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.